Hi, it's Ben Martin again, and welcome to Disciple Parenting. This is a growing community where we can learn about how to disciple our children for Jesus Christ. In the video last week, we talked about inclusion. We talked about the fact that Jesus has included us. He accepts us, and so it's asked of his disciples to include those around us. What that looks like for your family. And if you haven't watched that video, I encourage you, take a moment, pause this, go back and watch part 1, because you're not going to want to miss that. And it also really sets the stage for this video. So in this video, we're going to talk about what inclusion means for Jesus. Because let's be honest, our picture of what inclusion is a little bit narrower than his. So let's get into it. What does Jesus mean when he includes us? You see, when I include someone, it means, hey, you're welcome to sit with me. You're welcome to join me. It might even mean you're welcome to come into my home. But Jesus has said, when he includes us, you're part of my family. Behold what manner of love that we should be called children of God. You're part of my body. We become a part of the body of Christ, as Paul puts it. He doesn't just include us to join him. He includes us to be one with him. But what does it mean to be part of his body? In Ephesians chapter 4, Paul lays out the body in this beautiful picture of all of our different gifts, all of our different talents coming together to create this living organism that is created for mission. And the purpose of the body is to build up the church, to build up the body, both strengthening it internally and growing it externally. And so with the gifts God has given us, we should be using those to strengthen the church, but also to be evangelizing and bringing others into that body. This is what inclusion means. God hasn't just invited you to sit with him. He's invited you to be his spokesperson. He's invited you to speak for him. That's crazy. I mean, if I thought of a list of all the people that I'd be comfortable sitting next to, that's a pretty long list. If I narrow that down to who I'm comfortable inviting into my home, that's definitely getting a little bit smaller. But if I had to come up with a list of people I feel comfortable with them speaking on my behalf, that's a very short list. But the God of the universe has said, hey, as part of my body, I want you to tell others about me. I want you to speak on my behalf. Now, it's one of those things that you can say, okay, I get it, I understand it, but how does this impact my family? Well, there's a few things. First of all, if you want your kids to really understand that this is what it means to be a part of the body of Christ, then you need to be involved in ministry. You need to find out what are your gifts and talents and then be using those in service to strengthen and build up the body of Christ. That one's the easy one. We want to model to our kids, hey, this is what it means to be a part of the church. But the other one is just as important, and that is modeling your home like the body of Christ. You see, the members of your family all have different gifts and talents as well. And striving from a young age to know your kids, to build those relationships so that you know these are their gifts. How can we use those for our home? Imagine a home that functioned like the body of Christ, where everyone is using their gifts and talents to make the home a better place. This is why chores are actually a beautiful picture of discipleship and a way for your kids to start understanding at a young age that being part of the family means having responsibility, having chores, having expectations of them. It's not just cleaning up after yourselves, but what are you doing to contribute to the family? And so as you're raising your kids, raise them with the understanding that God is inviting them into ministry. God is inviting them with a purpose. God has given them gifts and talents that He has use for. And so help your kids discover those by recognizing them yourself. When you find out what those gifts are that your child is given, find ways to get them involved in using those specific gifts. Because honestly, I want Jesus to come soon. I am looking forward to that day when the heavens are parted and we see Jesus again. And how do we get there? By every single one of us getting involved. Because every single one of us has been included. Every single one of us has been given gifts and talents. So the question isn't who. The question is, how are you using what God has given you for His kingdom? And how are you raising your children to use their gifts and talents to help Jesus come even sooner?